Back to Miller. Oh my goodness.
Herbert.
Sidearm sling, and it's a touchdown.
Tyrese Maxey.
Oh, good spin move by Filipowski for the news. Give him 9.
All right, here we go. Final episode. Can't believe we are here, but the final episode of this football season, college football, NFL, all behind us now. Super Bowl, most watched event of the year, and we got you covered here at Beef Up Front. The number 1 seed out of the NFC, the 49ers, versus number 3 seed out of the AFC, the Chiefs. A 6:30 kick on CBS. Niners, a 2-point favorite. Over-under is 47.5. We're going to get into the game, our prediction, the spread, the over-under, some anytime touchdowns, prop bets, coin toss. We're going to hit on some fun bets throughout this entire show. But as always, Kev, welcome back. And how are we? Ready for season finale here?
Yeah, I'm super excited for Sunday. Pretty crazy that season's almost over already, but definitely looking forward to Sunday.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people, I feel like, with the lead up, like, oh, I don't want to watch this game again. Like, why not? Like, the 49ers have been the best team in the NFC. You get the chance to see them play against Patrick Mahomes, who's looking to build his resume as the greatest quarterback of all time. I mean, I think this game has a lot of storylines, a lot of fun, entertainment involved with it. It should be a great football game. The way that the Chiefs have been playing, the way that the 49ers have played all year. I'm excited for it. I think this is a better matchup. I mean, it would have been cool to see like the Lions in it or the Bills in it, but I think matchup wise, AFC, NFC, maybe that Ravens game against the 49ers, but I think 49ers Chiefs is pretty much as good as you can get. So real excited to get into it. We're going to save our prediction for the end of the show. Who's going to win, who's going to cover, and then the over-under as well. So to start us off, we're going to get into some anytime touchdown bets. Probably one of the more popular bets that people will be throwing in on Super Bowl Sunday. So, Kev, give me an anytime TD scorer in this game that is not named Christian McCaffrey. McCaffrey is minus 220 right now at DraftKings to score a touchdown in the Super Bowl. So, give me a guy that you like to find the end zone. That's not number 23 for the 49ers.
Yeah, I'm going someone who's plus money. I'm going Deebo Samuel, plus 140. I think there's going to be a ton of eyes on McCaffrey in the red zone for good reason, and I think he's still going to get his touches and chances. But Deebo can score on the ground and in the air, and he can also just be used for a ton of misdirection down in the red zone, whether it's a jet sweep, little bubble screen, that can lead to a pretty easy TD for him.
Yeah, Deebo plus money. I like that play too. I'm going to go with Isaiah Pacheco, minus 120, anytime touchdown in this one. He scored in 6 of his last 7 games, and he scored in 4 of his 6 career playoff games. Andy Reid has shown a lot of faith and trust in him with this offense, with the lack of offensive playmakers that they have on this group this year. They've really trusted Isaiah Pacheco in this offense, and he's really been the workhorse back. McKinnon, I did see, has been activated, so maybe he steals some touches, but Andy has really trusted him and fed him during this playoff run. He's been running really hard, as we usually see him do, and I like him to get in the end zone here, especially if he gets a goal line touch. He's been pretty much automatic down there throughout the playoffs. So Isaiah Pacheco, minus 120, anytime touchdown. Love that play for Sunday. All right, now we're going to go into 5 prop bets. We got some receiving yards, some rushing attempts. We got some field goal attempts. We got a bunch of different stuff. 10 different prop bets here for you. We'll run through them all and write them down and potentially take them there on Sunday. But Kev, give me your first prop bet that you want to touch on for this segment.
Yeah, my first one, I'll go Harrison Butker over 1.5 field goal attempts. It's minus 166. I think special teams is going to play a really important role in this game. And Butker's the second most accurate kicker in NFL history, right behind Justin Tucker. And in his previous 3 Super Bowl games, he's averaging 2 field goal attempts a game.
All right, we will go to my first prop bet. I'm going to go with a guy where I have more than 5 prop bets put in already, but this is one that a guy that I'm really looking for a big game out of him. That's Marquez Valdez-Scantling at over 19.5 receiving yards at minus 115. I feel like every Super Bowl we see on each side of each team a guy kind of step up that's not a Travis Kelce or a Christian McCaffrey. I think Marquez Valdes-Scantling has a good chance to be that guy to step up here for the Chiefs, go over the 19.5 receiving yards. We've seen throughout the playoffs receivers get open and make some big plays on this 49ers secondary. We saw it against the Packers, where the Packers receivers did really well. And we saw it last week against the Lions, too. Josh Reynolds could have had a few more big plays, and he dropped a few passes. So there's going to be opportunities for Valdes-Scantling. I expect the 49ers defensive pass coverage to obviously be targeted to stopping Rashee Rice and Travis Kelce. And I think Marquez Valdes-Scantling is going to be able to have an opportunity to make a big play down the field. He could get all these receiving yards on just one catch. He's gone over this line in 2 of the 3 playoff games. And like I said, he's the deep threat for this team. If they're looking to take the top off on a corner like Ambry Thomas, Valdes-Scantling is going to be the guy. So Marquez Valdes-Scantling over 19.5 receiving yards is the first prop bet I like there. All right, give me your second prop there, Kev.
I'm going Pacheco, first-time touchdown scorer. I know you already had him a little bit earlier as an anytime touchdown scorer. First-time touchdown is plus 600. I think the Chiefs come out hot, and Pacheco is going to have a big day here. Like you said earlier, he's almost scoring in every game at this point. And I think the first TD goes to the Chiefs and Pacheco.
All right, my second prop bet. This is my long shot, my off the wall one, but there's a little bit of reasoning behind this. We're going Jawan Jennings, most receiving yards in the game, plus 3,500. So you get him there, 35-1. Chiefs secondary, 2 very good all-pro corners in L'Jarius Sneed and Trent McDuffie. I expect them to be tasked with trying to take away and covering Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk. That leaves Jennings with a chance for a big game. If that defensive secondary is really honed in and targeted in on Samuel and Ayuk, Jawan Jennings is going to have a chance to be that guy that's open underneath, get a bunch of yards after the catch. And as we see with the 49ers time and time again, that's what this offense is set up to do. Get the ball to their playmakers in space and let them get yards after the catch. So if you have 2 all-pro type players covering Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk, Jawan Jennings is going to have a mismatch, I think. He's a very solid receiver, and he doesn't get as much, notoriety due to being with the 49ers and all these offensive weapons. So my long shot of the day here, I think he could have a day benefiting from this Chiefs defense and most receiving yards for the game, plus 3,500. I expect to see a lot of running in this game, so he's not even going to need that much receiving yards, I believe. But Jawan Jennings, most receiving yards, 35-1, long shot play for the Super Bowl. All right, give me your third prop there, Kev.
Yeah, I'm going Mahomes under 260.5 passing yards, which is minus 115. When you hear Mahomes' name, you often think like his player props are just always going to be the over. In his 17 career playoff starts, he has gone under his passing yards only 5 times. But of those 5 times, 4 of them have occurred in the past 2 postseasons. This Chiefs team is evolving. They run the ball more and play good defense. There's just not as many big chunk plays. I think he's still going to play really well in the game, but I think the under passing yards hits.
All right, my third one is going to be a Patrick Mahomes related prop as well. I'm going over 4.5 rushing attempts at minus 130. This number is hit in 9 of his 17 career playoff games, so not a huge advantage there, but he likes to use his legs more in the playoffs. We see it time and time again, especially on plays like a third down, a 3rd and 8, where I gotta have it type scenario. He's not going to force the ball into a tight window. Instead, he's going to use his legs if he sees some grass. And also, if you think the Chiefs are going to win this game, you have to take into account knees as well. If he's kneeing the ball at the end of the game, those count as attempts, and also at the end of the half. So if you get maybe 2 knees to end the game, 1 knee to end the half, you're only going to need maybe a QB sneak, a few scrambles out of him. He's one of the best scrambling quarterbacks in the league, so expect him to use his legs in this one. So I love this play. Mahomes over 4.5 rushing attempts there at minus 130. All right, give me your fourth prop, Kev.
Yeah, I'm going another Mahomes one. Super Bowl MVP plus 135. He's going to be the reason the Chiefs win. He is as special as they come, and your best bet for MVP is the QB of the winning team. Of the 24 Super Bowls played this century, a QB has won it 15 times, and Mahomes has also won it in his previous 2 Super Bowl victories.
Okay, my fourth prop, I'm going with another quarterback one here. We're going Brock Purdy over a half an interception, another one at minus 130. This is the best defense that he's played in the playoffs, best one since he played the Ravens when he threw 4 picks. I think he might come out a little bit nervous in this one. When you're nervous, you tend to miss high, especially with a team like the 49ers. throws over the middle. I think we could see a play where, he's trying to hit a guy in stride over the middle and misses high, deflect it up, and just a pick right falling into one of the Chiefs secondary members' hands. So Brock Purdy over a half an interception, my fourth prop. And Kev, give us your fifth prop to finish us off.
Yeah, my final prop is going to be Ayuk under 4.5 receptions, which is -134. Ayuk has had 3 receptions in his last 3 games, and he can often be the forgotten man in this offense. With so many mouths to feed, I'm going to take his under. He'll also be going up against Snead a lot on Sunday, who leads the NFL in only allowing 49% of passes thrown his direction to be caught.
All right, and my fifth and final prop, probably my favorite prop for the Super Bowl. I'd probably put the most coin on this one. We're going Christian McCaffrey over 128.5 combined rushing and receiving yards, right there at -125. I think in this game, the 49ers will live and die with Christian McCaffrey. I touched on it last week against the Lions, where I was like, all right, there's no real point of limiting his touches and holding him back now. Use him as much as possible in this game with the offseason ahead. Nothing to hold back, and especially against this really good Chiefs secondary, I think they could really look to get him involved in the passing game against some linebackers and help move the ball down the field that way. And this Chiefs team is a team that can be ran on too. I think he could get this on rushing yards alone, especially if you think the 49ers are going to win. I could see him going for 150-plus rushing yards. So I expect McCaffrey to touch the ball at least 25 times in this game, and it just comes down to can he do damage, and he's done it all year. So Christian McCaffrey over 128.5 combined rushing and receiving yards for my fifth and final and favorite prop there. All right, quick one here, Kev. Coin toss, heads or tails? What are you going with? I'm pretty sure all the books on this one put this one at +100.
Yeah, I always go tails, never fails.
All right, I'm rolling with heads for the coin toss. All right, couple more things aside from the betting, and then we'll get into our final predictions for the game. We got X factors. We're going to give a 49ers X factor and a Chiefs X factor for kind of who could be that missing link, that missing piece to help these teams get over the top. So, Kev, give me your X factor for the 49ers in this game.
Yeah, I'm going Debo. The Niners offense is just different when he's playing and healthy. After he went out in the Green Bay game, you heard Shanahan talk after the game about how his injury really limited his play calling because so much revolves around him. He can do everything on the field and draw so many eyeballs. Even if he doesn't put up crazy numbers, his presence out there alone changes the Niners offense. In the entire season this year, anytime he's been out, we've seen the Niners struggle. He comes back and it looks like the Niners are fixed. So he's my X factor here.
All right, my X factor is going to be a guy that I already touched on at the beginning of this with my off the wall play of +3,500 there for most receiving yards in the game, and that's 49ers receiver Juwan Jennings. I expect this defensive secondary, as we touched on, to have all eyes on Ayuk and Debo, leaving a bunch of opportunities for Juwan Jennings to make plays. I think he's going to be the guy that's open and the guy that the Chiefs are going to be like, all right, if Juwan Jennings is going to go out there and have 100 yards and be the guy to beat us in this one, so be it. But we're not going to let Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk destroy us time and time again. So I know it's a bit off the wall, but it's hard to pick someone with the 49ers with all the stars on both sides of the ball for this team. So Juwan Jennings, wide receiver, is my X factor for the 49ers in this matchup. All right, now we go to the AFC side with the Chiefs. Kev, give me your X factor for Kansas City in terms of winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'm going Felix Nduge-Uzama. Last week, Charles Umenohu tore his ACL in the championship game. This year, he had 7 sacks and was a key cog in the defensive line. We all know what Chris Jones can do, but you always hear in the Super Bowl, it's got to be some unsung guy step up, make a big play. I think it's Felix here. He's a first-round rookie who Spagnuolo specifically mentioned this week as someone who needs to step up. And I think if the Chiefs can get to Purdy in this game, they can win the game pretty handedly even.
Yeah, I'm sticking with a defensive lineman or edge rusher here for the Chiefs as well. I'm going George Karlaftis. 10.5 sacks during the regular season. He's had 2.5 sacks so far in the postseason. Chiefs also are 8-3 on the season when Karlaftis has at least a half a sack. I think the attention is going to be focused, obviously, as it should be, towards Chris Jones. I think Karlaftis is going to have some single looks. Can he make the 49ers and that their offensive line pay when he gets those one-on-one looks? That could be the difference in this game. Can he cause a strip sack? Can he hit the quarterback and force a pick? Turnovers are going to be key in this game as always. So look at Karlaftis there with Trent Williams most likely locking down his side. If they can get Karlaftis on the other side, free him up a little bit, and let him rush, especially with this defense that likes to blitz. He might be a free rusher in this spot at times. So I like George Karlaftis there to be the X factor, potentially pick up a key sack in this game. All right, so we touched on anytime touchdown, 5 prop bets, coin toss, some X factors. Push comes to shove, Kev. 6:30 on CBS with the number 1 seed 49ers versus number 3 seed Chiefs. Niners 2-point favorite, over under 47.5. Who wins the Super Bowl? Who covers the spread? And what's the total looking like in this game, going over or under 47.5? Hit me with it and what you think is going to go down.
I'm going Chiefs winning a pretty close one, 27, Niners 24. So the Chiefs end up covering the 2 and over 47.5. When we knew this was going to be the matchup, I really haven't thought about it at all. From the moment I saw it was going to be Chiefs-Niners, I thought the Chiefs were going to win. I believe the Chiefs had the better QB, better defense, and better special teams. Those 3 areas are just going to lead them to victory here. First, Mahomes is Mahomes. We don't have to keep talking about him all day, but we should learn not to bet against him. I think he's going to do what he always does, make plays when it's needed, whether with his feet or arm. The Niners offense on the other side of the ball is very good. I don't really have anything bad or negative to say about them. I think the Chiefs defense is better than anything they've played in the playoffs so far this year. I feel like the Niners weren't really the better team in either of their first 2 playoff wins. They were obviously able to find ways to win, but I thought the Packers and Lions both should have won those games. It was more a reason of that they lost rather than the Niners actually going out there and winning. I think this shows up on Sunday a little bit. I think both teams are going to look to run the ball on each other as well, as that's the weakness of each other's defense. And it's also just the strength of both offenses at this point, with the Niners maybe having the best running game in the league. And also in big games, you have to be able to trust your kicker. I don't trust Jake Moody on the Niners. I think the Chiefs win their Super Bowl here, and they officially become a dynasty.
Yeah, I really like what you were saying, where it felt like both the Lions and the Packers outplayed them. And the whole narrative, I think, with the 49ers, and especially Kyle Shanahan, was they're a team to play for him ahead, not come from behind. I think they were 0-30 heading into that Green Bay game, when losing in the fourth quarter, and now they've done the opposite and have came back in both those games against the Packers and Lions. So if they get down, though, to Patrick Mahomes by double digits in the first half, do I really think that they're going to be able to come back? It's going to be obviously a much tougher task. But at the beginning of the playoffs, I put my money where my mouth was. And I said I was taking the Chiefs and the chances at 10-1 to win the Super Bowl. And here they are, 1 win away from cashing that ticket. As long as Patrick Mahomes is under center, I think they have a shot. I think this is the best job of his career for getting his team here with a lack of offensive talent, but also shout out to that defense for the awesome work all season too, especially when that offense was really struggling at spurts during the season. This defense kept them afloat. Great job by Steve Spagnuolo, I think, on the defensive end, and Andy Reid too, for getting the most kind of out of the talent on this team. But this is by far the toughest game that they've had yet. Say what you want about Brock Purdy, but he's here for a reason, and they have the toughest assortment of weapons in the NFL to stop, I think. It's going to be a battle, but no way will I go against number 15 as an underdog. We don't need to go over all the stats again. You probably have seen them on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, SportsCenter, whatever you watch, whatever you listen to all week. And no, when Mahomes is an underdog, you should bet him. And that's what it seems like a lot of people are doing. A little scared because every single person's on them, it seems like. But there's just no way I'm going to pick against them in this spot. Kelsey and Pacheco playing their best ball this season. Rice has emerged, and barring a terrible game from Mahomes, where he misses people wide open, he has multiple turnovers, I just don't see Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid losing to Kyle Shanahan and Brock Purdy. I'm going to go Chiefs winning by an almost identical score to you, 28-24. So Chiefs +2 over a 47.5. Patrick Mahomes gets another Super Bowl. I cashed my 10-1 ticket. And I also cashed my Super Bowl straight up ticket that I have with this Chiefs team. So really looking forward to this game. And I think it's going to be an awesome one, a classic. And obviously, as Eagles fans last year, with the way that finished, was a very, upsetting loss for us. But still, that was a great game. If this one can come anywhere close to that, I think we're in for a real good treat Sunday night. But Kev, anything else before we head out on another season here of Beef Upfront at Pick Swap Media on our NFL Big Five Games of the Week show.
Yeah, we'll be back next September when we are discussing the Eagles playing in Brazil.
I already found out I got a wedding that day. The poor guy, first NFL game on a Friday night ever, and he's probably going to have people bitching and complaining over the next, 8 months or so that there's an Eagles game on the night of his wedding. So, but as always, everyone, thank you for following along all season. Please like, subscribe, and like Kev said, we will talk to you next year.